Hey guys, it's CP3EP and we're here doing the Arch Manning Dynasty. He had a tumultuous season at the University of Oklahoma. In fact, they played pretty terrible. We actually had a 4-game losing streak. They did make it to a bowl game, but the one thing I will say in Arch's defense, the offensive coordinator there called plays like a running quarterback like Dylan Gabriel from Oregon, who was there last year, loved to run the RPOs. If the offensive coordinator was not calling an RPO, he was calling a run play, even on 3rd and 7. I don't think they changed the playbook to fit Arch Manning's strengths. I've heard this, that on that touchdown run that he had in the Mississippi game, that he ran faster than Tyreek. I don't know if I believe that or not, but I read it for myself. Someone sent it to me. He said that Arch Manning runs a 4.640, but in the game, he doesn't run a 4.640. Before we get to where he may transfer to, I would love for you guys to go to my shop here on YouTube and check out the new sweatshirts that I have. They are brand new, so new that I don't even have one, and t-shirts as well. Love to keep my kids in school, my 4-year-old and my 1-year-old, so if you could help a brother out, I would appreciate it. I've had a lot of people love the sweatshirts especially, but the t-shirts as well, so I'd love for you, if you guys like them. We have different colors, so you guys can pick up one of your own. So where and why would Arch want to transfer? Well, I gave you a number of reasons. He's not a good fit in the Oklahoma offense. Even though it says air raid, I had to go out and find playbooks or find teams that did not have quarterbacks that ran, and I was actually quite surprised as I came across certain teams that I knew the quarterback and I knew who he was, where he transferred from, but I had no idea that maybe he was their team's leading rusher. So let's go through some schools and see why we would and wouldn't want to transfer there. Now, I will tell you, we finished the season 8-5. We finished it strong, but we didn't get into the final 12, if you will, or the bowl championship series. But here's Purdue, Tulane. They're both super high on Arch. Tulane, of course, is in New Orleans. Arch is from New Orleans. But when you look at their overall and their offense and their defense, even Purdue's an 83 overall. If winning a national championship is the name of the game and what Arch wants to do, then probably these kind of schools are not for him. Even Mississippi State has an 81 overall. Here is a very interesting school though, and another knife to the heart if he were to go here to the Texas Longhorns would be Texas A&M. They are an 87 overall, 89 offense, 87 defense. They run a pro style scheme, but last time I checked, their quarterbacks do run quite a bit in the games that I've seen, and so they're a great fit. Other than that, they run a pro style offense, and they may be perfect for him with that pro style offense, but I'm just concerned that they would, like Oklahoma, want to run RPO after RPO, run play after run play. They had Arch run quarterback draws so many times that I lost track, and so obviously that's just a playbook. You know, Florida was a thought and is a thought, 86 overall. Auburn is a thought, a very interesting thought, 88 overall, 87 offense, 89 defense. Arizona State, they're not quite ready for big time yet, it doesn't look like. North Texas, even though they have great interest, they're not quite on the cusp of winning a natty. One of the things I don't want to do is go to a school like Alabama, who had won 3 or 4 championships recently. You know what I mean? It would just be another championship for him. Even LSU, when Nick Saban was with LSU, they rattled off, 2 or 3 under him there, and so I moved on. Baylor's only an 84. This was a huge surprise to me. USC is a full 5-star team, and yet their overall is only 84. 84 offense, 85 defense. They do run an air raid offensive scheme, and most of their quarterbacks are not running quarterbacks, but they're not in any position to compete for a natty. It doesn't look like. Kentucky kind of in the same boat. Now, Texas. Would they ever allow him back in the state of Texas? Would they ever allow him back in the city of Austin if he wanted to go? They're only 4 stars out of 5 stars, and they were 9-4 last year. But look at their overall: 90 overall, 89 offense, 91 defense, pro style offensive scheme. And they've had Quinn Ewers, they had Manning coming after. Those quarterbacks don't run a lot, so the scheme should be geared for a passing quarterback. TCU, not quite ready for that next level. BYU is a few levels away. Cal, not quite ready. Oklahoma State is an option, 85 overall. And one of the nice things would be getting out of the SEC, because it is such a gauntlet of teams. SMU is of interest too, because they like to air it out, and it's been the 80s since they won a natty, and it would be kind of nice to bring it back to Dallas and win a national title for the Mustangs. But they're still a year or so away. And surprisingly, Nebraska is only an 84 overall. I really like Nebraska, but they're not quite there. Arkansas, another team that is only an 84 overall. Florida State, all the problems they had this year, it might seem like a perfect place for him to go, but I don't know if he would go to Florida State. Seems like a Midwest guy to me, or a Southwest guy to me. Georgia, another team that is so good that you kind of wonder. They've won multiple championships. Would I just be another quarterback there? Michigan is an option with an 88 overall team with 87 offense and 90 defense and 4.5 stars. They would be a nice fit, but they won a championship last year. Miami, surprisingly to me, is only an 86, so he could do great things with them, but I don't see Arch as a Miami Hurricane. Washington has surprisingly not recovered since Michael Penix Jr. was there, and they're only an 84 overall. One of great interest is Notre Dame. They are an independent. They do play a pretty tough schedule. They were 11-2 last year. They run the spread, 88 overall, 87 offense, 89 defense. He would seem to fit right in there. But when I look at their quarterback this year, Riley Leonard, at least the 2 games that I watched, he was the team's leading rusher, and not just in yardage but in carries. They definitely asked their quarterback to run a lot. It's not the end all be all, I guess, and it would be a fresh start for him. Troy, sorry guys. Oregon, another one that was of interest to me and is of interest, but it looks like they won the championship this past season. They were 16-0, and their quarterback was a running quarterback, so I'm sure their offense is geared for him. And so, but definitely someone, a team to keep in mind. Penn State, kind of one of my favorites. I don't know why, just can see Arch wearing that old school blue and white uniform, but they themselves are maybe a step away, but they're close. Boston College, don't see them there. Always be Doug Flutie's home. Virginia Tech, they're not the Virginia Tech they used to be. Syracuse, they are not the Syracuse of this year. They are definitely down on their luck now. Tennessee, I find it hard to think that he would follow Peyton to Tennessee. The same with Ole Miss, with Eli. Pitt, I thought would be a little bit better with being a 4.5 star, but they are only an 82 overall, so they're a couple steps away. West Virginia's an 84, but still a few steps away. UCLA, I thought they might be a little bit better than USC, since USC was so low, but they're even lower than USC. Utah comes in at an 85. They're close, not quite there. Ohio State, one of those places that is always in the hunt for a natty. Would Arch just be the next guy in line? Does he want to be that next guy? Texas Tech was of great interest, but their defense does not look very solid. They were 5-7 last year. Seem a few steps away. Arizona is a number of steps away. Missouri, they were sure better than that when Arch and Oklahoma played them this year. I can tell you that. Colorado, that would be interesting playing for Prime, but they've had a running quarterback, so probably a lot of plays geared for a running quarterback. Iowa is of interest. They run a pro style offense, but they are only an 84 overall. They do have an 85 defense though, and maybe he could help get them over the hump. Out of all these schools, which one is Arch going to pick? He has a lot of choices, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to let my son pick what school Arch chooses. Okay, so what's it gonna be? My son Camden is going to help pick where Arch Manning goes to school. So this is Camden. He's my 4-year-old son who's the baseball star.
I want to go right there.
Right where?
Go this way. Go down. This way. The orange one. That one.
This one? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, because once I press it, are you sure Oklahoma State? I thought you told me Texas Longhorns.
Oh yeah, I want them.
Okay, that's who it's gonna be. We could go to Georgia.
I did go to Georgia.
But Arch Manning is going back to Texas. He's committed to the University of Texas.
Oh.
Yes, the Longhorns. Good choice, son. I don't know if they'll let him back in the state because he used to play there and then he transferred away. But I love your choice. So we will see Arch Manning in the burnt orange. I guess it's not horns down anymore. It's hook 'em horns. Go Texas and Arch Manning. I want to thank my son Camden for helping me out. Thanks, buddy.
You're welcome.
Appreciate you. All right, guys. If you're not a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button and hit that noti bell so you get any notifications of future videos that I put out. Discord information, if you'd like to follow on Discord, is down below, as well as the Twitter information. Please smash the like button on this video. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Tell your friends that Arch Manning is going back to Texas. We will see if he can bring them a national championship. Thanks guys for watching. Don't forget about the merch. Love for you guys to take a look at it. Hope you guys like it. Take care guys. Love you.